We begin with that breaking news. Details after a body was found inside a car.
Body found in the trunk of a Tesla.
Breaking news now. The body of a young girl found in the trunk of a Tesla.
Registered to the singer David. Authorities have identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
On September 8, 2025, at the Hollywood Toll impound lot in Los Angeles, employees noticed a strong, suffocating odor coming from a black Tesla with Texas plates. The vehicle had been sitting in the lot for several days after being towed from the Hollywood Hills area. The workers called the police. Responding officers opened the front trunk of the car and discovered several bags containing human remains. A criminal investigation was immediately launched following the discovery. 9 days later, on September 17, a forensic examination confirmed the identity of the deceased as 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had been reported missing in the spring of 2024. The car was registered to David Anthony Burke, better known by his stage name David, an American musician known for his tracks Here With Me and Romantic Homicide. Representatives for the artist stated that he is fully cooperating with the investigation. Since 2017, David had been running a YouTube channel where he uploaded Fortnite gameplay clips. Everything changed when YouTube began taking down his videos for copyright violations. That's when David decided to start writing his own songs, without a studio, without equipment, just a phone, headphones, and a recording app. He made his first tracks at home, recording them inside his sister's closet, which he used as improvised studio. He uploaded his music publicly, allowing creators to use it for free. Gradually, his tracks began spreading throughout the gaming community. After losing his job, he devoted himself entirely to music. On TikTok, he started posting short clips, remixes, speed-up covers, and original compositions. There, Here With Me and Romantic Homicide first appeared, the songs that changed his career. He released both tracks independently without any label support. They quickly went viral, and in 2022 he signed with Interscope Records, the division of Universal Music Group. By 2025, his audience on Spotify has surpassed 27 million monthly listeners. He joined CZA on tour, performing at major US venues, and was regarded as one of the most promising young artists in the alternative pop scene. Everything changed on September 8, 2025. Employees at Hollywood Toll, an impound lot in Los Angeles, called the police after noticing a strong odor coming from one of the towed vehicles. The car in question was a Tesla with Texas license plates, registered to David Anthony Burke. The vehicle had been parked on a residential street in the Hollywood Hills for nearly 3 weeks without moving. A neighbor contacted towing service, complaining that a black Tesla with Texas plates is just sitting there rotting. The car hadn't been towed due to an accident or breakdown. It had simply been suspiciously abandoned. Police arrived at the scene and opened the front trunk, where they found bags containing human remains. According to TMZ, the body was severely decomposed and possibly dismembered. However, authorities did not clarify whether the body had indeed been mutilated or whether the condition was due to decomposition. The first moments after the news broke caused a brief wave of panic online. Some speculated that the body in the car might be David himself, but within minutes, those rumors were dispelled. He was alive on tour and had already spoken to his representatives. That left one chilling question. If he was alive and well, then who was in the car? There was no answer, and social media erupted. TikTok algorithm researched an old video dated March 9, 2023. In the clip, a popular creator named Nicholas films his "Hey, what do you do for work?" interview in a supermarket. The camera pans to a man standing by a shelf of chips. "Hey, can I ask you something?" Nicholas says. The man looks up, and it's David. He's wearing a white shirt covered in blood. A bloody handprint is visible on the fabric. He's holding a large bottle of Tide laundry detergent. The scene, clearly filmed as a joke, suddenly seemed eerily prophetic in light of recent events. Later, in an interview, David explained that he had invented an alter ego named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. According to him, Itami represents his dark side, an agent of chaos inspired by a manga about a detective investigating a murder committed by his own second self. David claimed that through this persona he explored his inner conflicts and darkest fantasies, including scenes of violence and death. In his videos and lyrics, he visualized those scenarios, imagining destruction carried out by Itami. It was this character who always appeared wearing the bloodstained white shirt. While police were still trying to identify the victim, internet users began drawing new parallels, this time to the music video for One More Dance, released just 8 months before the discovery of the body. The video once again featured Itami, David's alter ego, wearing the same bloodstained white shirt and white blindfold. Itami is shown dragging the lifeless body of another version of himself, the ordinary David, across the ground. Two hooded figures then appear. They helped Itami place the body into the trunk of a car before driving away with it. Later, David explains that these two figures represented occultists who worship Itami. In the context of artistic metaphor, the scene was meant to depict an inner struggle, the symbolic death of one's former self, but against the backdrop of real events, the imagery now appeared disturbingly literal. The situation became even more unsettling when fans noticed that during his ongoing tour, coinciding with the early stage of the investigation, the stage design featured coffin-like props, part of what David had described as his funeral theme show. After all, what are the odds that an artist who filmed a video showing himself placing a body in a car trunk would just months later be linked to a real case where a body was found in his own car? A week after the horrifying discovery, police finally confirmed the victim's identity. It was 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl who had been missing for over a year. During the investigation, David had been on tour, and it appeared as though he himself had learned about the grim discovery in his car at the same time as everyone else. People began asking why wasn't the tour suspended, why were the authorities silent? On one hand, this gave the impression that David truly had no involvement. Many assumed that the car might have been stolen. However, as of now, no evidence has emerged suggesting that Tesla had been reported stolen or showed any signs of forced entry. Others began speculating that David wasn't the sole owner of the Tesla, that perhaps someone else had access to it. At first, some media outlets reported that the girl was 15, but according to the forensic report, Celeste died the day before her birthday, which was supposed to be on September 7, never getting the chance to celebrate her 15th. A closer look at the medical examiner's findings shows that the date of discovery was listed as the date of death, which typically happens when the exact time of death cannot be determined. Given that the body was already in advanced stage of decomposition, investigators believe she died at least a week before the discovery. The medical examiner noted that the cause of death has not yet been established. At present, no official suspects have been named in the case. David himself has not been formally accused, though his name continues to surface in connection with the investigation. Police obtained a searching warrant for his residence in the Hollywood Hills. During the search, they seized several items, including electronic devices. According to police statement, the search aimed to locate potential evidence or leads, though no confirmation has been made regarding traces of blood or other direct materials. Despite the extensive investigative actions, David remains classified only as a person of interest. The only confirmed development following the search was that David terminated the lease on his Hollywood Hills home, where he had been living up until the beginning of the investigation. The story of Celeste goes back to February 2024, when the authorities of Lake Elsinore announced of her disappearance. She was only 13 years old. She ran away from home but continued to stay in touch with her friends through the internet. Her online activity could be traced up until August 2025. Throughout the year, her name several times appeared in missing person reports, but nothing led to any results. The girl lived and studied about 80 miles from Los Angeles in the city of Lake Elsinore. The main question that has haunted everyone since then: where had Celeste been since April 2024? What was happening to her during all that time? Was she with David? How did she die? And how did her body end up in his Tesla? Special attention was drawn to media reports mentioning a tattoo on Celeste's finger. By a strange coincidence, David has the same tattoo. It's possible that those photographs were just Photoshop fakes created to fuel tension around the investigation of the artist's connection to the 14-year-old girl, since in many pictures of David the tattoo is not visible. For example, on his Instagram it doesn't appear anywhere. On the other hand, is it possible that the tattoo really exists and he deliberately edited the photos before posting them online? And if that's true, the logical question arises: why? If it hadn't been clear before what connected David and Celeste, now the internet began to fill with screenshots, archived messages, as well as photos and videos allegedly showing Celeste in David's company. On the same day the victim's identity was revealed, a screenshot from Discord began circulating showing a message dated October 23, 2022, about a year and a half before Celeste's disappearance. David wrote in the chat, "Celeste in here?" To which a user with the nickname Celeste replied, "Hi David Bar." Moreover, a screenshot from a live stream appears showing David and a girl behind him trying to hide her face with a blanket. It's easy to notice that her facial features strongly resemble Celeste. Nola's attention was drawn to screenshots of messages dated July 11, 2024. One user asks, "Are you married or single?" The musician replies, "Me and deleted user got a child on the way," tagging an account that most users believe once belonged to Celeste. A few messages later, a photo appeared showing a hand with a ring and a tattoo of the name David written in red ink. The same hand with the ring appeared in David's own Instagram stories, which suggested it could be the same person, likely Celeste. The message about the supposed pregnancy caused no less shock and confusion than anything else. Could she really have been pregnant, or was it just a joke? If you compare the dates, the pregnancy message was written on December 7th, 2024, and Celeste died in August 2025. That's about 9 months apart. This means that at the time of death, the fetus should have been fully formed, and it wouldn't have been difficult for the coroner to determine pregnancy during examination. But for some reason, no information about a child was mentioned in the reports. It's also possible that the baby was never born. Some people believe that the story about the child is indirectly connected to Celeste's death. Perhaps David insisted on the abortion, arguing that she was underage and it could ruin his reputation as an artist, while Celeste didn't want to, but eventually gave it to him. Later, this situation could have become a turning point in their relationship, leading him perhaps to decide to get rid of the girl. In any case, the situation remains very confusing. There are also theories that their relationship lasted much longer than anyone thought. One argument supporting this version comes from the lyrics of his older songs. The track Decide, released back in 2022, there is a line, "I know what the problem is, save your tears for 7 more years. Life's a complicated thing." When people started analyzing the song after the tragedy, many noted that Celeste was only 11 years old at the time, and in 7 years she would have been 18. Maybe it's a coincidence, but in light of all other details it sounds creepy. At the same time that the screenshots of chats and live streams began spreading online, the moderators of the Discord server issued a statement. They claimed that they did not know Celeste's age and were convinced that she was 18-19 years old. They also emphasized that they had no direct contact with David himself or his manager. It's pretty clear why the moderators released such a statement, quickly distanced themselves from the situation in case David's connection with the minor is officially proven later. Soon, a video began circulating online in which David allegedly drags a girl who looks like Celeste out of the frame. In reality, the confusion arose because of another girl, Celeste Herrera, a friend of David's who had nothing to do with the tragedy. After the theory gained traction, the girl had to add a note in her profile bio saying the other Celeste. This sparked a wave of rumors about the existence of 2 Celestes. Some believe that the second Celeste was part of calculated plan by David. After all, they look strikingly similar, sharing the same style, height and features. In that video, she even wears the same sweater as the deceased Celeste. Could it be that David intentionally brought a look-alike into the public eye so that if information about his relationship with a 14-year-old leaked, he could claim that it was all a mixed up and that he had been with Celeste Herrera all the time? There is also a video showing David's brother going backstage with a girl who looks very much like Celeste. As soon as she sees the camera, she hurriedly covers her face as she does in most available footage, possibly out of fear of being recognized since she was reportedly listed among missing teens. It's also possible that David told her to hide her face to use this later as protection for himself. Aside from live streams, David was never seen openly showing the girl. Even there, she wore glasses and a hood. In most photos or stories, only partial glimpses of her appear, a hand or a hair. Later, photos leaked online showing David getting out of a car near the area where the victim had lived. Comparing the scenery with maps, the location was clearly in the Lake Elsinore area. The distance from that spot to her home was about 6 minutes on foot. Considering that Lake Elsinore is a small, non-touristy town, not a place one would visit by chance, the fact that David was spotted that they are just minutes from Celeste's house is clearly no coincidence. Tension rose when news outlets published a statement from the victim's mother saying her daughter had a boyfriend named David. This, combined with Discord leaks and photos, confirmed that there was indeed a connection between Celeste and David. While no official charges have been filed, it's hard to deny the relationship. Another important and interesting piece of evidence in this case is a video filmed in a classroom featuring a teacher from the school Celeste reportedly attended.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up, I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Police have neither confirmed nor denied whether this man was officially questioned or whether his account is reliable. However, some users recognize both the teacher and the school. It's unclear why the teacher, knowing about one of his students' repeated runaways, didn't raise an alarm or take action. It seems that the adults around Celeste knew about her relationship with an adult man. The natural question arises, why did none of them intervene? If the teachers were indeed aware, and all evidence so far suggests they were, the school as the educational institution bore a duty to ensure the students' welfare. At the very least, they should have contacted her parents, and if it was clear that the family was struggling since the girl repeatedly ran away from the same reason, then in my view the school as the second responsible institution should have reached out to Child Protective Service or other appropriate authorities. Under California Penal Code Section 11.1166, teachers are mandated reporters and must notify Child Protective Services or the police in cases of suspected sexual abuse even without direct proof. At the same time, responsibility also lies with the parents. According to California Penal Code 272, adults can be charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor if they knew or should have known that a child was in a potentially dangerous or unlawful situation but failed to take reasonable steps to prevent it. This includes failing to report a suspected sexual relationship between a minor and an adult, especially when the age gap exceeds 3 years. As for David's situation, his relationship with a minor would fall under criminal law only if there were sexual relations, something that a human rights lawyer pointed out would need to be proven. A relationship without intimacy is not by itself illegal. However, 261.5 of the California Penal Code defines any sexual relationship between an adult and a person under 18 with an age difference of more than 3 years as a criminal offense. I'm not aiming to accuse anyone personally, but this case raises an important question. How effectively does the child protection system actually work, and why do situations that clearly require adult intervention so often go unanswered? The potential criminal liability of everyone involved only underscores the gravity of what has happened. While these videos were spreading across the internet, everyone who was truly close to Celeste remained in incomplete informational silence. Neither the police nor David's representatives nor the family made any statements. The only words that came from the relatives appeared on the GoFundMe page created by Celeste's older sister. As many of you know, Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified as the body found last week. She was a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend. Her family is heartbroken and devastated by this tragic loss. Any funds you are able to donate are greatly appreciated. The Rivas Hernandez family. In just a few days, people donated more than 24,000, and on October 6th, Celeste's funeral took place in Lake Elsinore. A new wave of accusations began with a tiny, almost insignificant screenshot, a private Instagram account that was allegedly owned by Celeste's 18-year-old brother Matthew and followed by David. Someone online sent this account a private message: "Dude, why is David following you? No disrespect. I'm sorry for your sister and I hate how disgustingly people are acting. Was it really him? God, stay strong, brother." The reply came almost immediately. Probably. It was implied, of course, that David followed Celeste's brother in order to monitor what the family was saying, everything under control while the case was gaining public attention. Then new screenshots appeared. The message sounded like something out of a crime show. "I met him in person once. I went to the police, but they said that there wasn't enough evidence. Now that 1,000 people are behind me, maybe things will be different." They never do anything. It's always like this with celebrities. They get away with everything. The supposed Matthew claimed that Celeste believed David would wait until she turned 18 to marry her. He called David a manipulator, saying his sister would never have said anything. He mentioned a Discord server, the same one that had already gone viral, claiming that there was too much crap there. The only tangible piece of evidence that led someone to believe the correspondence might be real was that the account owner sent 3 personal photos of Celeste. That could indicate a real family connection, but even that doesn't guarantee authenticity. The photos could have been taken from any public source. Personally, I don't believe this correspondence is genuine. First of all, something about it feels off, and second, there was already a previous incident involving a fake Instagram account allegedly belonging to Celeste. It was claimed that her sister had reactivated her old account, renamed it Justice for Celeste, and started posting stories one after another, also adding a link to GoFundMe. After that, the sister had to post a story on her personal page refuting this information, which makes me think that this correspondence with the so-called brother of the deceased is also fake. After this point, the only verified statement from the Celeste brother appeared in the report by NBC Los Angeles. He confirmed what had previously been only speculation. Celeste knew David. He told journalists that his sister was going to the movie with David and never came back home. The owner of the Lago Spirits in Lake Elsinore told the LA Times that on March 19, 2024, about a month before Celeste's disappearance, at 7 a.m., a small girl short with dark curly hair was walking down the street. He's convinced it was Celeste. He believed she got into a car parked down the street from the store, but couldn't make out the details as she went out of the frame on the recording. He said that the police never contacted him about this video. She was going to school with the other kids and she would stop by all the time. She was always so quiet, shy, just a sweet girl, said Nadav, who is a father and has operated his business in the neighborhood for 11 years. "I feel a connection to the community. It's just heartbreaking to see this happen." And at that point, the official timeline ends. The first statement that David has been notified and is cooperating with the investigation appeared in before the public knew whose body had been found in the Tesla. When it was confirmed that it was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, everything changed. Within 24 hours, David cancelled most of the tour dates for Withered, and then silence. No new statements, no press releases. The only thing that leaked to the media was that David had hired a lawyer. That in itself proves nothing. If a body is found in your car, you call a lawyer. But to me, and I think to many others, his actions looked suspicious. When the Tesla was first discovered, he continued the tour, and when it became clear who was inside, he stopped. Against the backdrop of everything happening, it seems that by continuing the tour, David was trying to show that he had nothing to do with it. He didn't immediately contact lawyer or suspend concerts. He acted only after the official confirmations of the victim's identity. It gave the impression of a calculated wait-and-see approach, as if he wanted his later steps to appear not as panicked self-defense, but as measured actions of a person confident in his innocence. Then, in mid-September, the Los Angeles Police Department and investigators conducted a search at a home in the Hollywood Hills connected to David's name. Neighbors said the whole thing lasted almost 12 hours. About a dozen unmarked cars lined the street. The entrance was blocked off with the yellow tape, and detectives wearing gloves were carrying out bags of evidence and electronics. The house doesn't formally belong to David. It's rented under the name of his manager Josh Marshall, which is quite common in the industry. that same modern house with panoramic windows seen in all TikTok videos and David's music collaborations. What's interesting is that the real owner said, according to Rolling Stone, that he had no idea what was going on. "This is a complete shock to me," he said. "I didn't even know who the singer David was. I thought the tenant was a certain Josh Marshall, that's the name on the lease. Until today, I didn't know that anything had happened in the house or that David even lived there." Then TMZ published an even stranger detail. Supposedly, the LA police had brought in a special unit specializing in finding traces of blood. It was described as a luminal squad, a team that sprays the reagent and scans surfaces, including inside drains, to detect invisible blood traces. If true, such testing indicates that investigators were searching for biological evidence. It's important to emphasize the source is TMZ, referring to anonymous police representatives. It could be true or it could be exaggerated. While detectives were combining through David's house in the Hollywood Hills, the internet was conducting its own investigation, no less thorough and perhaps no less intrusive. Users built timelines from post-match screenshots to release dates, trying to figure out when exactly David and Celeste might have first met. Meanwhile, private investigator Steve Fisher, hired by the owner of the house where David lived, joined the story. He reviewed surveillance footage and said he noticed movement of a Tesla registered in the musicians' names in the days leading up to the tragedy. Later, Fisher claimed that he knew who exactly was behind the wheel at the time when the car was parked at the spot where the body was later found, but refused to name the person, citing investigative secrecy. According to him, the area where the car was recorded had numerous surveillance cameras, and the collected data makes it possible to clearly see what happened. Although the official LAPD investigation did not confirm his findings, Fisher's statements fueled public interest and added yet another layer of tension to a story that grows more alarming and contradictory with each passing day.